In a small, quiet town surrounded by dense forests, there lived a young girl named Lily. Everyone knew her for her bright smile and contagious laugh. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lily went out to play near the woods and never returned. The town was engulfed in fear and sadness. People searched everywhere, calling out her name, but she was nowhere to be found. Days turned into weeks, and the hope of finding Lily started to fade. The townsfolk whispered tales of the forest, speaking of shadows and secrets hidden in its depths. They said it was a place from which few returned. Then, on a cold, misty evening, a group of hikers decided to explore a cave near the edge of the woods, a place untouched and feared by the locals. As they ventured deeper, their lights flickered upon a sight that made their hearts stop. Lily, sitting in the far corner of the cave, her eyes dark and empty, her smile twisted in a way that was unnervingly unnatural. As they approached, Lily's laughter echoed off the walls, a sound so chilling it seemed to come from another world. Her eyes, once filled with warmth, now held a darkness that seemed to swallow the light. The drawings around her depicted scenes of the forest, but with a sinister twist. Trees with faces twisted in agony. Lily spoke, but her voice was different, laced with a coldness that made the air around her feel heavy. She told tales not of adventures, but of a darkness that had embraced her, of whispers that had filled her mind with shadows. The cave, she said, was her home now, a place where she belonged with the creatures that whispered in the dark. The hikers fled, their hearts pounding with fear, leaving Lily behind. Her laughter followed them, a haunting reminder of what lay hidden beneath the serene facade of the forest.
She arrived at the hotel just past midnight, soaked from the rain and visibly shaken. Her phone was dead and the receptionist barely spoke as he handed her a keycard labeled Room 406. The elevator creaked on the way up, stopping with a jolt on the 4th floor. As she stepped out, the hallway lights flickered violently, casting long, shifting shadows on the damp carpet. Room 406 was at the very end of the corridor. She hesitated. Its door was slightly ajar. She pushed it open slowly. The room was dark, and freezing cold air rushed past her as she stepped inside. She flipped the switch. Nothing. Only one bedside lamp sputtered to life, casting a dull yellow glow. The bed was made. Everything seemed untouched, too untouched. She sat down and tried to catch her breath. Then she heard it. Breathing. Soft, raspy, behind her. She turned around fast. No one was there, but in the mirror across the room, she saw a silhouette, standing perfectly still behind her. When she turned again, it was gone. She grabbed her bag and rushed into the hallway, heart racing. A tall man in uniform appeared. He looked like hotel staff. "Miss," he said slowly, "where did you just come from?" "Room 406, she gasped. He froze. Room 406 was sealed last year. A guest went missing. We never found her. Confused, she pulled out her keycard. Her hands trembled. It now read Room 409. Before she could speak, the lights went out. The hallway plunged into darkness. From the shadows, she heard the breathing again. Closer this time. Then a whisper. "You're not supposed to be here." She screamed, but no one heard her. The hotel was silent again. Would you survive the wrong room? Subscribe before you check in.
If you love thrilling tales, but you're terrified of mirrors, then this one's for you. Mirrors have always held a certain mystique, a portal to another world, perhaps. But what if that world was darker than you ever imagined? Ready to meet the mirror ghost? This isn't just any ghost story. It's an urban legend that has sent shivers down the spines of many. It all started with a dare. A group of friends, seeking a thrill, decided to test the legend. Emily, a curious teenage girl, was intrigued by an urban legend whispering through her town. She had always been fascinated by the supernatural, and this was her chance to experience it firsthand. A ritual to summon the mirror ghost. The instructions were simple yet chilling. Supposedly, if you stood before a mirror at midnight and chanted the ghost's name 3 times, it would appear. But the legend warned of dire consequences. Emily, ever the skeptic, decided to try it out. She didn't believe in ghosts, but the thrill of the unknown was too tempting to resist. Midnight struck, and she stood before her mirror, her heart pounding. The room was silent, the air thick with anticipation. "Mirror ghost, mirror ghost, mirror ghost," she whispered. Each word felt heavier than the last. For a moment nothing happened. The room remained still, and Emily began to think it was all just a myth. She sighed in relief. Maybe her friends were just trying to scare her. But then the room grew cold, a chill ran down her spine, and her breath became visible in the icy air. Her reflection began to warp, twisting into a grotesque smile. It was as if the mirror had come alive, mocking her. She tried to look away, but she was frozen in place. Fear paralyzed her, and she couldn't move a muscle. The figure in the mirror wasn't her anymore. It was a dark, twisted version of herself, something out of a nightmare. It was something else, something hungry. The malevolent face stared back at her with a hunger that sent shivers down her spine. Suddenly the lights flickered, and a chilling whisper echoed, "You called for me." The voice was cold, devoid of any warmth or humanity. Emily's scream was cut short as the room plunged into darkness. The silence that followed was deafening. The next morning, all that was left was a shattered mirror and an empty room. The once lively space now felt desolate and abandoned. Emily was never seen again. Her disappearance became another chapter in the town's dark history. Would you dare try this ritual? Comment below, share your thoughts, and let us know if you have the courage to face the mirror ghost.